Innovate, accelerate, move technology forward. The startup revolution is now.
What an introduction. Thank you so much, Philippine Startup Week, for playing our reel. I hope our dynamic video actually was able to inspire you, excite you, as well as help you understand a little bit more about what we do here in Fight Esports. Fight Esports is actually a rather young company. We've only started out in 2019, just right before COVID hit us. And despite that, we've actually were able to achieve quite a number of milestones. One being the Southeast Asia gaming partner for TikTok, right? So I'm Brian Chin. I'm the regional esports manager for Fight Esports, and I'm here to explain to you how gaming and tourism can actually be helped by esports. How can esports bring you that kind of experience and also help gaming and tourism flourish over in the Philippines? Right? If you have any questions, please do let me know down in the chat below, and I'll be able to address them. All right. So just a quick introduction to who we are, right? So as I mentioned earlier on, we're rather a young company. Fight Esports is a global full-service gaming and esports agency where we actually help brands as well as communities enter and grow their initiatives in esports itself. So some of the verticals that we actually do, we connect and we grow gaming communities. We help organize, plan esports tournaments as well. We help brands create marketing strategies in order to push out their products or services within the youth itself. So just to explain a little bit more about what esports is all about, we actually do have a little bit of a misunderstanding, I think, at the market right now on what esports and gaming is. So just very much like any other industry, esports is just a marketing tool that we use in order for you to fulfill your business objectives, right? So understanding that, very much like all the other agencies out there, we actually do take all those business strategies, but we bespoke them and use it in esports itself, right? So that is who we are. We come up with marketing strategies to help brands and companies out there in order to tackle your target audience, which is majority of the youth who also play games, right? Now, here are the list of services that we actually have, right? We have services that actually help you to create gaming content, right? We do broadcast localization as well, esports marketing, esports tournaments, as well as public relations. So let me break it down in detail exactly what each and every one of these verticals do. So for gaming content in itself, we work with reputable gaming content creators to actually play their games, and you'll be able to actually promote your brands or your products in those content videos itself. Very much similar like how Korean drama does it, right? In the sense that all of a sudden you see Samsung phones being used, all of a sudden you see Hyundai cars actually taking place in any one of the episodes that you see. Very much similar to this, product placements can actually be used inside here. So that's one of the things that we do for gaming content. Broadcast localization. Say, for example, there is a publisher that actually do want to use their main event, right, the international level tournament, and they actually do want to localize it in, say, for example, Tagalog or Thai or Bahasa Indonesia. We actually do offer those services as well. Esports marketing, as I mentioned earlier on, we do have marketing strategies that we use again from the normal strategies that you see outside, but we actually do bespoke it into esports. I think the one that's mostly asked by us is esports tournaments, right? We do plan, organize, and host esports tournaments as well. So everything from PC games to mobile as well as console games, ranging from your first-person shooters down right to all those MOBAs. We do that as well. And last but not least, we do public relations as well, right? So press releases and talks like this is what some of the things that we do. Now, this is a quick introduction of myself. I'm Brian. I actually am a Dota 2 caster back in the day. So a little bit of a history lesson, I guess, or maybe walk down history lane. I studied psychology and marketing, and I graduated in 2016. During my university times, I was actually a Dota 2 commentator. I was actually doing it part-time because it actually paid well. And of course, I was very heavily passionate about esports. Still am, right? Dota 2 was my first love, and I was an avid gamer. So I always wondered, how do I take it up to the next level? So I actually started to do commentary. And because of that, that kickstarted my whole entire esports journey. From there, I actually went into the esports industry to really start working full time. I started out in events, and I went into the marketing side of things. And fast forward now, I'm actually in Fight Esports itself, right? So previously, I've actually founded two companies as well. One based in Malaysia, that was a talent management and content company, and the others was actually based in Philippines. It was an esports design and branding company. So that's what really went down. I guess just a really short introduction for myself, right? Okay, so now let's dive in a little bit more about how esports experiences in games can actually be able to be much closer to reality than we expect. So let me first explain a little bit more about what PUBG Mobile is. So PUBG Mobile is actually a free-to-play battle royale video game developed by Lightspeed and Quantum Studios, right? They're from Tencent region. And this was actually an adaptation from the popular PUBG Mobile PC title. So players can now actually virtually explore the cycladic countryside and take in the Asian views of the Santorini map, right? Which actually can now be found within the PUBG mobile game itself. So this initiative was actually created with partnership between Tencent, which is a Chinese multinational technology tech giant, right, basically, as well as the Greek National Tourism Organization, or GNTO for short. And this was actually to advertise Greece to the gamers, that actually do play PUBG Mobile, which is about 46.5 million active users, right? And this was actually to promote Santorini as a potential destination as their next getaway. So players can basically use their characters from the game itself and play their favorite game in Santorini itself. So they can actually indirectly explore the entire map, understanding the landscapes and the breathtaking views that can actually be adopted into the game itself. And through that, they were actually able to virtually experience Santorini as if they were there themselves. On the right side, this is actually Grand Theft Auto 5 or GTA 5 for short, right? So just a little bit of a background. GTA 5 was actually a game that was developed by Rockstar, right? And the whole entire map, or we call Los Santos map, was based off Los Angeles. So this was a real location that actually got brought to life, right? So players were able to actually immerse themselves as characters of the game while traversing the entire game in like a near replica of Los Angeles. They were actually commented by gamers that no doubt it was their first time in LA. They were able to very easily identify the landmarks because they have invested so many hours in the game itself, right? So imagine if we could actually create a map, a custom map of Manila, where players are able to traverse throughout the whole entire game in a near replica of Manila itself. And this can be easily done through game modding itself, which actually has a huge community behind it. So now comes the question, why do we want to promote games, promote tourisms like destination spots via games? Two good reasons. Number one, the target demographics of these gamers are actually people with fairly high spending power, actually, right? So these are the people that will spend hundreds of dollars just to spend on things that they love, such as their cosmetics for their favorite characters, down to special weapons and even power ups. So these are definitely people that are able to have the money, they actually have enough money to spend on vacations as well, because these are also categorized as the working adults. So between the age of 21 all the way up until maybe 40 to 45. Now, for the younger generations, right, who do not or yet have the spending power to be able to go for these vacations, this is a great way to actually nurture them beforehand, right? If, say, for example, they love GTA 5 and they've been playing it for so many hours during their teenage times, when they actually do have the spending power, they would definitely be interested in visiting LA because, hey, this was based off my favorite game. And through that itself, nurturing and educating them on that front would be a great way for tourism to actually take advantage of this and promote their sports. This is how we want to capitalize on esports tournaments itself. Let me first introduce what these two events are. Right? So the one on the left here you can see is called The International. It is the single largest Dota 2 tournament in the world, with prize pools around the millions. I think the highest was about 40 million US dollars, and the first place winners were actually able to turn overnight millionaires itself, right? So 20 million split into 5 people. That's a lot of money, right? On the right-hand side is actually another popular game called League of Legends. It's the World Championship that, again, is an amazing hit, right? So collectively, these two are the oldest and longest esports tournaments that have happened. And why do I bring this up? Because each and every one of these tournaments is done in a local venue, right? So that itself, you'll be able to garner a huge amount of footfall because on average, these events actually are able to attract anywhere from 15,000 people all the way down to 30,000 people in that single venue itself, right? So they have definitely shown in the past that esports have an amazing amount of community behind it, strong following with an audience size that's comparable to those in sports as well. And that itself is able to bring a huge footfall to the whole city. So for the first event on the left-hand side, you can see it's called the International. This was done in Shanghai with about 18,000 attendees in the venue itself, right? And on the right-hand side, we have the League of Legends that was done in Beijing's National Stadium. And that was a whopping 45,000 footfall in that space itself. right? So imagine the whole city being able to attract tens of thousands of footfalls in a single location, and how that could potentially help the economy there, right? There's going to be a huge spike in terms of revenue for the local businesses there, where they can actually grow and expand further. So understanding this, esports are definitely able to bring that kind of attention, right? Because number one, they have famous players, just very similar to football itself. If you know that Lionel Messi is going to be at a particular spot, you are definitely going to find all the means possible in order to attend that event just to see and potentially take photos with your favorite player. And esports can definitely bring that kind of potential, right? So now, how did COVID inadvertently help esports and gaming grow? Right. So we all knew when COVID hit, that was a very, very tough time for everybody. A lot of businesses failed, but some grew, and esports and gaming was one of it. Imagine being stuck at home with nothing to do and being so restricted in terms of the activities and content that you can do. Entertainment was very, very scarce in comparison to the better times. So this is where esports actually grew. Imagine if you were a football fan, traditional football fan, right? And you no longer had any content to watch. What's the first thing that you actually turn to? You'll find for alternatives. All the other physical sports out there were not being played due to the pandemic, but that's where games actually came in and took over that spotlight, right? So if you were a football fan, is FIFA online or FIFA at that point of time, FIFA 2000, FIFA 20, sorry, was able to give you that kind of entertainment? Yes. Why? Because essentially, it's still football, right? But it's done in the virtual game itself. No doubt you won't be able to actually experience watching real people playing it, but that was definitely a good substitute for this group of people, right? So with the lack of content in the market, this audience opted for alternatives going to this. So it didn't just got limited to sports itself. It went on to different games, especially in the mobile market. People started picking up games like PUBG Mobile, which you saw earlier, Mobile Legends, which is another popular game in Southeast Asia. And that actually helped grow the whole entire industry. So looking at the two graphs that you can see here, the audience growth actually had a 14% accumulative increase between 2017 to 2022, right? And the second photo can actually show you the audience growth based on popular streaming platforms, which is YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook itself, and to some extent mixers as well. You can see there was a huge spike in terms of it actually being in terms of the number of hours watched. Why? Because again, people were stuck at home without any content, right? People had more time on their hands, and they were actually looking for ways to entertain themselves. And esports being a flexible industry, because it could not only happen on ground but online as well, became their next attention-seeking, or their next the next thing for them to actually give their attention on, right? So now we're actually going to be moving on towards the case studies of the events that Fight has actually done that was also in conjunction to the whole tourism industry. So this was our first event that we actually done in Boracay. If you're a Filipino, you definitely know Boracay Island, right? This is the most popular beach destination there. So after the 2 years of pandemic restriction, the White Sands actually made a comeback. We created a content series that actually featured prominent KOLs or influencers to actually had a day out, an influencers day out in Boracay itself. So we actually we hosted a lot of activities that were beach plus PUBG Mobile themed. And one of them was actually the influencers doing parasailing while playing PUBG Mobile itself. So imagine you were parasailing up there and playing PUBG Mobile versus a team that was inside the boat itself. So there were a lot of ways that we could incorporate esports in tourism, because esports became that connecting part to a lot of the audience out there. If, say, for example, I invest X amount of hours into my favorite game, I will then be able to be exposed, and that's how marketing works, right? Through exposure and through really feeding them potential tourist spots. So to find out more about our efforts in Boracay and the partnership between Cebu Pacific and PUBG Mobile, check out our reel that we'll be playing right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boracay Island. We will celebrate the new update in PUBG Mobile, the rise of Phoenix Adarna. This is PUBG Mobile Summer Chicken Dinner. At bago ang lahat, let's introduce our favorite PUBG Mobile live streamers na readyng magpainit at magpasiklam sa ating Summer Chicken Dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Team Helmet Man versus Team Adarna. For Team Adarna na readyng lumipad, we have Dexy, Cherizawa, Vigor, and Aningning. And for Team Helmet Man na ready to defend themselves, it's Punja, Blink, Bella Joyce, and Lara. Alright everybody, we're back in the game. Again, we're still live here in Boracay. And of course, we have Team Adarna! Next team that we have, Team Helmet Man! Let's start with game number 1, Mystery Airdrop Hunt. In 3, 2, 1, go! Yan, kaya nila yan. Tatakbo rin ako.
Meron ba dito? Wala ata dito eh.
Ano dito?
Wala naman ata dito ah.
Meron!
Sure yun, mababa.
Ito dalawang ento.
Ba't wala?
Nagamit ko ngayon pa ako eh. Dana!
Alright, so that concludes our first game. Coming up next is our second game called Zone Out. Teams in 3, 2, 1, let's go! Okay, eto na, yung strategy na. Let's check out Team Adarna. Click naman natin
Secret!
dito.
Maririnig eh.
Start na yung team. Okay, here we go! Okay, pwede niyong agawin, pwede niyong agawin! Alright, sige, game pa. Ala, nawala! Okay!
Oh my God! Hindi, isa pa.
Okay, wow! Unsuccessful, yes, basta yung paa, bawal lumagpas. Pwede, alright, game! Pwede pa siya, alright, it's getting closer. Team Adarna not yet giving up. Aray!
Hindi.
Alright! So here we are, third game. Team Adarna, ready na ba?
Yeah!
Alright, Team Helmet Man, ready na ba? In 3, 2, 1.
God, enemy!
Yan, so nag-start na yung mga team captains. Sponge muna. This is only 3 minutes.
Piga, mabuti!
Yan.
Pagod na ako dito! Alam mo, bigat.
And boom, wow, malapit na. Sobrang layo pa sa Team Adarna.
Hoy, pulo na kami! Go,
Puno na, alright, so there you go. So there you have it. Congratulations to our first winner of the first part of today's activity. Let's give it up for Team Helmet Man. Alright, and now we're back on our second leg here in PUBG X Boracay. And you know what's coming up next? Since we don't just play PUBG in PUBG Mobile in our very own rooms, we play it everywhere, tulad dito sa beach. Team Helmet Man, Team Adarna, nakikita niyo yung paligid natin? Yes! Mainit, malamig, and all the other things. We're gonna be playing PUBG Mobile Team Deathmatch with a twist. Yung twist natin is one of the players, isa sa kanila ay sasakay sa parasail while the three of them will be remaining here in our raft at maglalaro sila ng PUBG Mobile. Team Helmet Man, sino yung una sa inyo na sasakay sa parasail? Si Lara. Okay, Lara, dito ka. And then for Team Adarna, sino yung una? Cherry Zawa over here. Lara, anong masasabi mo na si Cherry Zawa yung una mong kalaban sa parasail?
Basic lang.
Anong sagot ni Cherry Zawa?
Hindi mo kaya to.
So yeah, let's head on to game number 1.
Wala pa nga eh. Oh my God. Ang saya mag-PUBG sa himpapawid. Ay, puti ka na talaga. Ay, go.
Makalag talaga yung mga... Sa taas, sa taas. Naglag pala.
Team victory!
Ang saya!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Yung tournament kasi yung mananalo magkakaroon ng kontrata po Boracay. Pro team ng Boracay. Eto na nga. Naku, may na-spot si Bella Joyce. And dito talaga nagkakaalaman kung sino ba talaga yung mananalo.
Grabe, competitive.
Ano ang Daddy Blake? Wala ka na? Sino makapatay sa'yo? Vigor. Si Vigor! Vigor! Telepoise gets a lot of damage. That is coming from Vigor with a final kill. And one-on-one, Malaya versus Vigor. Nahanap ni Malaya si Vigor. Tumatakbo si Vigor sa opening. Pero hindi pa rin mapatay ni Malaya. Medyo careful lang. Vigor tumatakbo. Nagsa-sidestep. Just a bit more. Vigor. 58 seconds. And Tumara, congratulations to Malaya. Let's give it a round of applause. Malaya, come here, man. Alright, so, Miss Sherlyn, yung winner ng ating Boracay trip.
Helmet
Man.
Team Element, let's give it up for Bunja. She blinks in our hands, Team Element, guys. There you are. Let's give a round of applause to our winner of the Summer Chicken Dinner. Take your photos if you are fans, ladies and gentlemen. This has been PUBG Mobile Summer Chicken Dinner.
All right. So for the next case study that we would like to show you is the PUBG Mobile 4th anniversary celebration, right? Where we actually had a activation over in Robinson's Galleria to show appreciation as well as to really celebrate the whole entire the community there, where we actually launched a life-size airdrop in 3 prominent locations in Robinson's Mall itself. So we had games where they were able to try out shooting at targets in order to just make the whole entire event a little bit more engaging. So what's next after all these tourist spots, right? We wanted to also incorporate food into things, right? Because that is probably one out of the 2 to 3 reasons why you would actually go on a vacation. So try different kind of food. And because of that, that's where we actually were able to go and attract people through food into the Philippines, right? So what happened was we actually prepared a mukbang content series, right? Where we had mouth-watering dishes such as the chicken inasal, the chicken asado, the chicken adobo sagata, and the pianggang chicken, right? So these were all the kind of foods that we prepared because it was themed PUBG Mobile, the winner chicken dinner tagline to be more specific. And that was one of the ways that we could actually promote the different kinds of food in Philippines itself. Imagine replicating this into other countries as well. That will be a good way to really attract people through their stomachs. Okay, over here in Malaysia, now we're back in my home country, right? So we actually worked with PUBG Mobile and Blackpink to actually host their virtual concerts over in Malaysia itself. It was done in One Utama, one of the bigger malls that you can find in central location Malaysia. So yeah, that's the end of my presentation. I hope you guys understand a little bit more about how esports and gaming were able to help the tourism industry a little bit more. Do follow me on LinkedIn. Do add me on LinkedIn. If not, do follow our social media pages on Fight Esports itself. So I hope we were able to also answer any questions that you had moving forward. Do contact us if you actually do have any other questions. Feel free to email me or just DM me on LinkedIn. Until then, thank you, everyone.